We're live.
We're live, everybody. Listening and watching, caring and sharing. It's Brian and Adam, and you are listening.
It's your boys.
It's right. Holler at you. What are you guys doing? We're on the fucking Star Wars deck or something. Watch out for Han Solo. He's running around here with the goddamn werewolf. Everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Brian McCarthy. Sitting stage right as always, hopefully always, is Adam Hineker. And we are here on the Brian McCarthy Interview Show. If you're listening, it's probably a podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube or even...
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
good.
We're simulcasting.
And we're getting very close.
I think we're going out to MSNBC, too, via Cisco WebEx.
By the way, just to completely jump off topic, we made it 20 seconds without completely jumping off the rails. But did you watch The President with Colin Jost? Did you watch the...
I didn't. I was just listening to a podcast of them talking about it, but I didn't actually watch it.
Oh.
The Correspondents' Dinner?
Yes. It was, look.
What did you think?
Well, number one, he's not my president. I'm going to put that out there right now.
Okay. Biden?
Yeah. Biden.
Sleepy Joe you talking about?
Say he's Biden his time. Okay.
Pretty fucking good. Too bad you didn't.
Yeah.
You know.
Listen, I thought Colin Jost did a good job. I loved it in that I was happy to see it happening and it was great. But the thing that we're all familiar with the term Schadenfreude, right?
Sure.
So there's a comic named Matt somebody.
Friend.
Yes.
Talking about the guy that does the impressions?
Yes.
Sure.
And
I think he might be in New York. I'm going to look him up.
He is in New York.
He's a New York guy. I think he might have been around the comic strip when we were there.
Probably. He is, but he goes on, because I listened to the Howard Stern program, and he does an impression of Howard that Howard likes, and he does impressions, and apparently he's at the stand a lot.
25 years old.
He's a young boy.
He's a baby.
And but the Correspondents' Dinner, they had him on the floor doing Trump impressions, and I hate to say it because I don't like to watch someone eat a dick. Although, let's be honest, I guess I like to watch
unless they're physically
eating like some sort of weird cannibal video from New Guinea or something.
Oh.
But this guy was, because it's weird to watch somebody do a Trump impression but not be in like the hair and makeup and everything.
Is he at least doing the hand movement?
Well, he was holding a microphone and he was kind of doing crowd work. It did not work.
Didn't work.
It did not land. And it was like to the point, and but I will say this, he soldiered on, boy. I mean, what else are you going to do, I guess? And he knew, he was like, I'm not doing well here. I'm not doing well. I can tell this is not going well.
He's doing commentary as Trump on his own.
Yeah. It's like
his own set.
It was very meta. It was so I do encourage.
People are talking.
He said,
a lot of them are saying this is probably one of the worst.
Yeah, he was
worst Trump impressions.
Yeah, it was like, but he said a couple of things that were so. He was like, I'd rather be in Arizona getting an 18th century abortion or something. Like, it was like I'm paraphrasing.
Was it too busy? Was he trying too hard?
It was almost like, but it was also like really
Melania.
Yeah, watching a 25-year-old like tall, gawky kid practically doing a spot on Trump impression with wildly inappropriate jokes. I mean, I liked it for all the wrong reasons, but I was watching this guy and I felt badly for him because, I mean, I don't feel that badly for him, but I was just kind of like, oh, this isn't going well for him.
Right. Well, I feel like at this point too, it's, as far as the Trump impressions go, it would be really hard to improve on what sort of already happened or been done.
And also, if you're going to have someone, look, I don't mean a Monday morning quarterback, the Correspondents' Dinner, but if you're going to have somebody on the floor doing Trump impressions, you sort of have to dress them up as Trump or just not do it.
Right.
But having a guy that doesn't, everyone close your eyes in the room, like everyone at home, close your eyes. And then you'll picture me as Trump because I don't have the money for the wardrobe. Clearly I don't do a good Trump, but it was just funny to watch because I can't remember, like a couple of the jokes were just so like really.
Well, now I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. But you can find it on YouTube in like 10 seconds. Just C-SPAN. So
I was just actually on the way over here because I was listening to somebody talk about that. I rewatched the clip of Obama making fun of Trump. The whole thing where they say that was what caused him to
to
sort of run.
Yes, that was great. And then it was funny. All now I can say it now because it happened already. But all 3 presidents stayed at my wife's hotel.
Is that right?
When they did that, they all stayed there. Yep, the Comfort Inn in Flushing, Queens.
Was it Obama, Biden, and Clinton?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Jimmy Carter didn't show up. The 99-year-old Jimmy Carter.
It wasn't.
They wheeled him in a tent.
George Senior.
Yeah, George Papadopoulos. No, it was funny. It was at the Comfort Inn in Flushing, Queens.
Sure. Yeah. No. Well.
No, yep. I remember because Bill Clinton was like, "Wow, the Belgian waffle machine doesn't get hot enough it doesn't make the waffles. There's still a lot of dough. Not what do they call it? Not dough. What's in a waffle? Batter. God damn it! All right, we'll start over.
That would have been great if I would have
said batter.
If you would have gone batter.
Waffles. I don't want a rare waffle.
Right.
No, stupid.
Who does that?
Yeah,
you got to get kind of the vocal fry.
Let me tell you, when I lived
extreme vocal fry.
When I lived in California, I was at 2 different events, and I sat at a table with Monica Lewinsky because her dad.
Is that right?
Yeah, because the area of Los Angeles where we lived was called Westlake Village.
Sure.
And that's the part of LA where she's from. And her dad was like a big doctor, big mocker, as they say in Yiddish, a very important man in Westlake. So whenever there would be like a my wife worked at the Four Seasons out there. So whenever there would be like a charitable event or something, I don't know, I would have it at a table because we were out there like in 2009 when the economy was terrible. So there were a lot of times where they'd have these dinners out there and there'd be like a $500 a plate and they wouldn't sell enough seats. So they'd be like, "Hey, Brian, can you come in here, get way too drunk and
fill a seat?
Yeah, exactly. Can you try not to block out until the sorbet is served between courses?" Well, I'm going to be blacked out, so you're not even going to know.
They probably like that because you're one guy, but you seem like 5 guys.
I'm all over the place
with the how sort of much you move and shake.
I know. I would. I mean, I largely behave myself, but anyway. Boy, it's so funny. Before you got here, I decided to check out some pornography. And because the other day I was going to look at some pornography and I was going to have a little bit of a sesh, as they call it.
Yeah.
And
a bit of a wank. Maybe Ted might say having a bit of a wank.
A bit of it, right. Pull out the old Roger Thomas for a trip around the lorry or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah. And but as I was about to do it, some of my family was going to be coming home and I was like, do I have the time to do? Because
and then that made you even harder and come quicker.
I said, if I time this just right, everyone in my family can burst through the door just as I'm
coming,
licking my own cum out of my hand. Yeah, but
snowballing yourself.
So I decided to table it. So then today, after I got into a fight with a guy in a building around the corner from me, but that's another. I mean, I can tell that story if you want, but it just happened this morning. I'm finally coming out of it. It really was. I had a really shitty morning, actually. I mean, I usually don't like to complain, but I did not. I was very annoyed with that guy. But anyway, so I didn't have time to do it. So then this morning, I was like, I could probably get in there and do this. And then so at this point, you can't find porn where they're not step sisters or step brothers.
Oh, really?
It's the entire genre. Yeah, I mean, I know you like the black.
It's
all.
But listen, I even stumble into that too because you can have a black stepdaughter.
You can. It's probably. Is it always September Rain? She always.
No. She's popped in a couple of times.
She's like, I've been up for 7 days.
It's so funny because I think I was telling you a while back. I wasn't familiar with her work until after we had her on, and she is quite the actress.
She's actually, I
would have been almost nervous because she's very good.
Starstruck. Yeah. I will say this for those of you who are listening and don't know what we're talking about a year and a half ago, probably already, we had an adult film actress named September Rain on the show, and she's black. And she's from Sacramento, California, but she's really like a kind of a valley girl, kind of a black girl. She's not like, I don't know. I don't know.
There was a chick that I dated. Her name was Rashonda.
Okay.
Who I've spoken about before because it was amazing because you could tell she was black from all 3 of her names. And it was Rashonda Monique Jackson. Brown.
Oh,
and I was like, you could tell you're black from any one of your names.
From space.
Yes.
You can
down
see
the block, this lady.
You can see 2 things from the space station, the Great Wall of China and her name.
Right. But she was also from the Bay Area.
Okay.
Or all, I guess Sacramento is kind of not quite the Bay Area, but she was like from around around the Bay Area
right.
and reminded me so much of her. A little more chill version of a September Rain.
Yeah. Well, September Rain, and I think she said on the show she's had some issues with crystal meth. So
that was not on the show.
Oh. All right, never mind. Sorry. I don't want to disparage September Rain. Sorry. She was pregnant.
She's probably mentioned it at some point, maybe publicly.
I think
hopefully.
She's a bit of an open book, so I don't think I think we're good. September, I apologize. Please don't.
If you're watching,
yes, don't change your name to October Snow. Fucking. Anyway, so I tried to so I this morning I went on, and at this point, I almost can't find any. It's everyone now is. I think they're Russian. I think they have to be Russian. I think Ukraine. They're probably a little busy right now than to make step sibling porn, because like I'm watching this thing. It just makes me laugh. The guys, because you don't really know it, because guys in bed, you just see feet. And they don't look like Russian. It's hard to tell if they're Russian socks or not. They don't have like a big red star on them or something, right? Or like one toe is missing, or like a picture of a favorite cosmonaut on one of them, you know? Like but so he's laying there. So this girl comes in, always super cute. But if they come in and first thing she says is she goes, "Stepbrother, I'd like to borrow automobile to go to disco." And he goes, "You can't go to disco. You don't put petrol in my car last time in the automobile." I promise to put petrol. I'm watching this. I'm like, I can't jerk off.
It's so funny because you've described this kind of porn. I've never seen any of this.
So much of it just goes to show you.
I wouldn't even know where to find it.
If you just Google what, as far as I do, well, I'll tell you what
You're
I do.
putting in a bunch of keywords. Yeah, I suppose. I kind of just go on like the major things, and I'll just kind of, browse.
Yeah, but I need an algorithmic launching pad. That's what I need. I need an algorithm. So I will, for example, this morning I said something along the lines of amateur homemade stepsister cream pie, St. Petersburg, Ural Mountains, caviar, glasnost. No, I didn't say any of that shit. But I mean, I might as well have. But that's what I do. I say like amateur cream pie, homemade, accidental cream pie, stepsister, petrol. No, I don't say petrol. But so I throw that in the mix. But I think like unless it says like mom comes first, which again, can we think of some better names for this shit, please? Like or family therapy. Those seem to be made in the United States. Like
100%. All of that stuff.
Like the one that Joanna Angel, she made, like that guy. He's in whoever that stepbrother is or whatever that guy is. I recognize him just from his penis.
Okay.
So he's in all of these things. He is like the he's I don't know. He's like he's like the go-to guy.
Right.
Makes
a guy named Johnny. It could be that guy, Johnny.
Not Johnny Wad.
No, not Johnny Wad, but Johnny. He's a guy that I see in a lot of this stuff.
Well, you never see the guy. You just see his penis.
I see the guy.
Oh yeah. No, this stuff is always POV. And
see, I don't do POV.
Yeah, well, I don't know. And then there's another guy who makes this stuff, but he's way too much of a talker, and it's really creepy. He's like, "Oh, like your stepsister, your pussy's so tight." I'm like, "All right, enough,
stepsister."
Yeah, we get it. Okay, like, number one, can you really just not say sister? Do you have to say step? Like, are we all just covering our bases, or are there real like legal challenges to like you have to?
Wow, yeah, I see the stuff I see is pretty good. It's usually like they don't dumb it down. It's kind of like, Caitlin, what the fuck are you doing in here? And it's like, I need to use the car and I'll do anything.
Yeah. I like the ones where the stepsister like teaches her younger stepbrother how to have sex. And she's like,
yeah.
You better not come to me. And spoiler alert, he always comes to her. But so there is some great stuff out there, but for some reason there's a lot of Russian stuff. And sometimes you can tell, like when she's walking in, they'll be like, you can tell it's kind of shitty. There's like there's like a tube television.
Yeah. See, I can usually just from the thumbnail, I think maybe I avoid a lot of that just by,
there's like
discriminative.
Yeah. There's like a thumbnail and like a hot plate. You're like, why is there a hot plate? This can't be America. Nobody has a hot plate in America.
Yes.
You really figure out what a wonderful country this is when you're watching. Like, this is how these people live. Like, there's a hot plate in the bedroom. You know, it's good for my soup. for the soup, sister. You eat all my beets. My beets are gone, sister. Why you eat all my beets? I don't know. I need money for the socks and medicine.
I always get caught with like there's like these sort of OnlyFans couples, and it'll
Yes.
just be the same guy, the same girl, but like the title is always like ran into her in the elevator.
Oh no.
Fucking blasted her guts out. My tenant couldn't pay, so she had to blow me or whatever. But it's just like they kind of make it look like it's going to be different people, but it's always the same people.
It's so stupid. Just we don't really. I don't.
But I think that it's probably effective. People click on it because they're like, "Oh, this is a stepsister thing," but it's just the same.
Yeah, and
two people.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, though, porn is so wonderfully subjective because I could sit here for an hour and talk about how dumb that is, but then there's clearly people love that, or at least there's enough people that will click on that shit and they watch it, like the couples that do porn. I like the one. There's this one where they travel around a lot, like they look like this kind of like. They're this kind of very good looking couple, and they go to they're American, or at least they're not, I don't know, from Slovenia or whatever. And they go to beach towns or resorts or whatever. And they just kind of fuck around the place. And that's fun. Like that's kind of, cause I always imagine, I'm like, oh, that's me and my girlfriend. We're going
totally.
We're on a beach.
San Juan.
Yeah. We're on a beach vacay. Boy, I tell you though,
Bali.
I was watching TikTok. Also clearly I was very busy this morning. And
full day.
Yeah. I was watching, have you ever gone on a cruise?
I haven't. I've been flirting with the idea for years.
It seems awful to me. And
but you haven't been.
No.
Okay.
Every video that I don't, for some reason in my TikTok feed, I get videos of people like taking you on little tours of cruises.
Sure.
And it just looks like a fucking nightmare. And I know there's people out there that love them and they love cruises, and that's great. But like, it's always, and they're always like, the voiceover is always like, it was great. It only took us 35 minutes to get into our room. And then we went to our stateroom, and these rooms are like 20 feet by 20 feet.
Teeny weeny little,
yeah. And then we went
rooms.
and we all had Belgian waffle sundaes. And after Belgian waffle sundaes, then we found the infinity pool. I'm like, I would want to blow my brains out on this thing. Like it doesn't.
Yeah. On paper.
Yeah.
I could be into it. I've gotten mixed reviews. Some people tell me it's the worst thing ever.
Yes.
And then, others say they had a great time.
I think with cruises, I think people either love them or they hate them. And also for me, and it's going to come off very privileged, but I've spent a fair amount of time in the Caribbean on islands where the cruise people will come in, and the people, like, for example, in Grand Cayman, the town is Fort George, and they will literally tell you, like, there's a cruise ship coming in, like, stay away from this part of town. Right. Because they all disembark off of the boat and they show up and they, eat like $2 conch fritters, and they just kind of run around, and they have like 3 hours to be in, the town, and then they get off the boat, but they don't spend any real money there. I only know this because I was talking to, I happen to be in that. I had to buy a piece of luggage once when I was on vacation, which is kind of funny because we got to the hotel, and this is before I retired, and my zipper broke on my carry-on, like my rolling bag thing. So I just took out the wine key in the room, and I cut a big hole in my suitcase. It was just kind of shitty anyway. It was like, it wasn't a good, yeah. So then I told Jocelyn, I was like, I have to go buy a suitcase. So I went down into Fort George, and that ended up being like a 9-hour thing, which was fun for me. I just kind of was like, I went and met some Jamaican guy who sold insurance. He was like wearing like a suit at a bar.
Okay.
And, yeah. Ended up hanging out with him. Then he gave me a ride back to the Ritz-Carlton. And then, but it was funny because when I was there, I was in the luggage place, the Toomey store there. And the guy was like, he was like, uh-oh. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, in a half an hour, like the cruise ship lands. And he was like, it just sucks because no one's buying luggage when they're in like Fort George for 3 hours, but they'll come in the store and they walk around. He's like, they kind of act like they're a cloud of locusts,
looky-loos. A lot of people kicking
Yeah,
tires.
yeah, exactly. Or I mean, but then right next to him, there's a place that does like rum punch for $2 or some shit like that. So, but I don't know. It doesn't look
get sloshed and go look at some
luggage. Is this an international carry-on or domestic carry-on?
Right.
Tell me, is this a hard shell? Yes, it's a hard shell. What do you think? It looks like a hard shell. So this morning, I'll tell you what happened. I know I sort of mentioned a little bit before the show, but so we have a new puppy named Pretzel. She's very sweet.
Yeah.
But you have to walk these dogs at 6. I get up at 6 a.m. So I walk the dogs. I go out. I make sure everyone does their business, and then I come home and I usually go to sleep for a couple of hours, and then I start my busy day. But this morning I was out, and it's been weirdly cold in New York, right? Like this morning it was like 50 degrees. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so and where I live, I live in an area that's a lot of very tall buildings, and it's a lot of like doormen that are usually don't stand in the front of the building. They're in the buildings, a white glove building. That means they stand out front, but that would be typically over on like Fifth Avenue or Park Avenue. But, I live, these are all, anyway, they're nice buildings, but there's guys that work in the building. So anyway, in front of every building, as you're going down side streets or up avenues, you'll see there'll be like a tree or bushes or something like that. And typically they have around them these kind of wrought iron, like planter. What do you call that? It's like a fence kind of, right? Like it's a little, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, the fence.
Yeah. It's like a planter fence or something.
They just painted the one in my building. I don't know what you would call that. I guess it's kind of a
it's like a barrier. It's the exact reason for it is
iron fence.
An iron fence. There you go. And it's usually about 3 feet tall. And a nice building I think buildings are responsible for maintaining their own or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But point is like if those are around, then you don't let your dog jump over those to piss in there, because that's just bad manners. But if you're walking your dog and you happen to see one of these kind of planter spaces and it's just mulch, and there's no fence around it, it's kind of an open, it's fun. Even if there's a tree there, every person in the fucking neighborhood is letting their dog piss either on the mulch or around the mulch, or it's just what it is. And the building could, if they wanted to, they could put a thing around it, and then it would be off limits. But until they do that, that's what it is. So this morning at 6 a.m. and my dog, the new puppy, she has like only 3 places in the neighborhood where she pees. And both of them are these mulch planter things. And one is directly in front of my building to the right. So it's not my buildings, but it's the building next to mine. And I'm kind of waiting for that building to give me shit a little bit, because, sometimes I take her right there and it's like the guys are out front and she pisses, but they don't say anything. Maybe because they see me all the time. But then there's another one around the corner where this morning I'm walking the 2 dogs, and Pretzel is there, and she's sniffing around, and there's a guy, not a doorman, but he's like a building guy, and he just goes, "Hey, sir, don't let your dog piss there." And I was like, I looked over the guy and I said, "Listen, it's not going to happen. I'm not
well, there's no fence around it.
There's no fence around it, and like
anything you don't want pissed on, I don't care if it's your child." If it's your lawn,
cover your child in.
You gotta have razor wire if you don't want somebody to piss on it.
Oh yeah, and then it's on you. I'll walk up to your 7-year-old, give him a mouthful of man lemonade.
Shoot a stream right over top of
but not over the fence.
Not over the fence. No.
But anyway, so the guy, and it just and I said to the guy, I was like, "Look, I'm not going to not do this." And he was like, "Well, the tree is there, sir." And he kept saying "sir," like you could tell he just wanted to be like, give me shit. But clearly, I live in the neighborhood, so there's a little bit of a thing. Yeah, homeboy.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, and
say blood.
He was like 5'6", which is never. Then you're just like, then you're done. And he was Puerto Rican or Dominican, or probably Puerto Rican. Which again, all this is fine. But he was standing there.
You're cool with that.
I'm cool with that. That's fine.
Varying,
and he was with the doorman, who was also standing there. But it's like 6 a.m, and it's like, and the thing that annoys me is like there's a guy in my neighborhood. I don't know if you've ever seen this. I don't know why you would, but there's a guy in my neighborhood he's a black guy.
Okay.
Hello. And he has
him.
He has a Rottweiler.
Oh.
And this fucking dog looks like Cerebus the Hellhound. I mean, this dog is terrifying looking.
Yikes.
And the guy And he lives in the building right next to mine. He lives in the white building right next to me, where the other spot where my dog pees. And I see him around the neighborhood, and sometimes he actually walks that dog without a leash, which I'm kind of like, dude, give me a fucking break. But nobody will say shit to this guy for obvious reasons. Like the guy, how people say they look like their dog. This guy looks like his dog.
Might be the last thing you say to anybody.
But again, it seems it's pretty egregious to have a dog that is that sort of menacing looking and muscular, and you're walking around with it off the leash, and he knows no one's going to say anything to him. So my point is that this 5'6" guy wouldn't have said boo to that guy, but here I am. I don't know. Why do I look like an easy mark or something? Why do I look like I'm somebody you can just roll over? And so we got into back and forth, and I was like, look, there's no fence, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you're going to kill the tree. And I'm like, my dog weighs 19 pounds. She's peeing on the corner here. And then it didn't get escalated anywhere other than I was just like, well, and then she didn't pee, and I just walked away. And I was like, to be continued.
So you happy?
Yeah, you happy?
You happy now?
I was outside, and then she wouldn't pee there. So I was outside for an hour trying to walk her, and she wouldn't pee anywhere. So anyway, yeah. So then I called Jocelyn. Yikes. And I was like, that fucking, and I told her what happened. So, and then she was like, there are gummy bears in my house. And she hid. She goes, I hid some gummy bears, and they're upstairs. So I came home and I found them. I was like, okay, these are good.
I hid some gummy bears. She because you were upset. She told you where the gummy bears.
Because I'm 11 years old. Yeah.
Wait. You hid the gummy bears.
She did.
She hid the gummy bears.
She did.
There's
a new gummy bear.
So you would eat them all, and you could have some later.
So she can surprise me with a treat, I guess. I don't know.
Wait. So basically, she's poised, waiting for you to have an altercation with a doorman or a maintenance guy.
Yep.
She's got gummy bears at the ready.
She's like, look
to cheer you up.
Look in the toilet.
That's kind of sweet.
Look in the toilet tank. There's a ring ding in a Ziploc bag. Have at it. It's not in the water, but it's on top of the water. So I know. And I went, because you know what they make now? They make these gummy bears that are sweet and sour.
You told me about these. They sound great.
Good. They really are good.
Where do I? Is it like a Haribo or something?
Yes.
Where do I get these?
You know what I discovered with what I think they are. What I call them? They're the thinking man's Sour Patch Kid.
Sure, a little complexity.
And for those of you who want to do a deep cut, for those of you who remember from talking shit, I put them in the freezer. They're frozen gummy bears.
Frozen gummy bears, like the inside of a
man-made
vagina.
Man-made vagina. Yeah, exactly. I was talking to Joe DeRosa about Emma Rose, who I guess Emma's been in town, even though
I've been seeing her around, on the social media, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe she and Ian Finance are registered at Target.
Yeah,
exactly.
Speaking of waffle makers,
yeah, exactly. Want to go in?
Let's go. You want to go Dutch on?
Want to go in halfsies on that?
On a bread maker,
Ian. If you're listening at the wedding, I'll have the sea bass. Thank you. Sauce on side. Yeah, but I saw that she was in town, and we were just sort of talking about it because I always think it's funny because, and again, I'm not speaking out of turn here, but apparently. And I haven't really seen any of her work. I'm too busy with these Russian stepsisters.
Sure. You'll get around to it.
Nah, I don't think I will.
Maybe tomorrow morning.
I don't. I tried to watch Joanna Angel the other day. I was kind of seeing what she's up to with the old pornography, and she was getting made love to by a transgendered gal.
Right.
And her husband was there. And I was just kind of like, that seems like an afternoon.
What? Aaron was just watching?
No, he was in the mix too. I don't know if I didn't see him like blowing the girl or anything, but
forehead kisses.
I kind of, exactly. Yeah. Right. He's reading from a recipe
jamming
book.
their head into a throw pillow.
Yeah. Because I kind of went right through there, and I will say this: everyone was so covered in tattoos that I couldn't even tell what was going on.
Sure, right.
Like I don't know where he stopped.
Am I looking at the funnies?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just black and white.
It's just like an Oriental rug or something. It's just like I'm like, is this even technically porn? Right. Like, is this? Right. I think this is probably. At this point you're wearing clothes.
I think this is it's like almost like an art installation at that point. It's performance art.
Yeah, exactly.
Or pop art maybe.
So anyway, but I think it's funny with Emma because, and I was saying this to Joe, it's like it's weird because it seems like guys that like transgendered women, You like an incredibly feminine looking woman. Okay. So far, so good, I guess.
Sure.
Right. But then you want that same girl to have a huge penis.
The bigger, the better,
The
right?
bigger, the better.
Bigger, the better, the tighter the sweater.
I mean, so, right? Aren't I right about that? It seems like, so for example, Emma, I know Emma has said, maybe even on this show, but has said that she wishes her penis was bigger.
Right.
Because I guess, but again, and you know, even for somebody that's had more experience in this genre than most people, I would feel like, all right, big, you know, tits and everything else, everything looks very like a girl, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, like an 8-inch dick to deal with, like, Jesus.
Well,
Christ.
we look at it as to deal with. They look at it.
Yes, absolutely.
Not as much of an inconvenience,
right? But again, I would think even if I was into a transgendered woman, I would want that part of the equipment to be as small as possible, so that it would just, I could just kind of move it aside, so I could, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess,
but I guess you want to play with it and everything.
Yeah,
I
guess if you're, if that's what you want. I mean, there's probably people out there that just like a more manageable dick, across the board. So they may not want like a big,
but I do
cock. But
I feel like the sort of industry standard, if you're into trans girls, you want a trans girl with a big package.
Yeah. Probably.
Which, again, it just seems like it's like you're like, oh, this is very different.
Which I don't know how you kind of make that work with all the, because you're with all the estrogen. I think that shrinks it. I think it's okay. Here's what happens. I think it shrinks. It shrinks. I can't talk today. I think it shrinks your balls, not your shaft. Not the shaft. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was the whole. I mean, maybe, but, and I seem to know, like, I know this one transgendered girl named Cunty Connie, and Cunty Connie, she has been trans forever. I mean, she's like she's been in the biz. She was born with a name like Cunty Connie. I mean, how could you not? And but I think she's had the bottom surgery since then. But like my friend Desmond told me that she had a huge penis, like just a massive penis, and she's black. And she had a huge penis. So I guess when you have a huge penis, can you just make an enormous vagina, or a big gaping vag? I mean, I don't know. Or you just have all that extra. I mean, how much dick meat you? Bless you. Oh God, I don't know. It's also allergies. I mean, yeah, bless you. You're allergic to all this hot trans talk. I took my Zyrtec. Yeah, maybe I'm just so hetero. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, again, I feel like it's just funny because I was thinking when this Emma Rose, who's very, very popular in that genre, and hugely popular, and her weird lament is that her penis is not big enough. It's like, you're like, okay, I guess. I mean, talk about having to spin a lot of plates. You know what I mean? Yeah. To be like a beautiful woman, present as a beautiful female, and then, but you also have to have a big, veiny, girthy, like a giant, like a lumberjack cock that's large, but also oddly feminine. Right. Like, well, I don't know if they want that feminine, do they? I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to make a 9-inch penis feminine. What do you do? Like put some cat ears on it or something? Like glitter, how do you maybe? Yeah, glitter on the tip. Rhinestones. Yeah. Just kind of zhuzh up some of the veins with some sparkly tape or something. I can't even really wrap my head around the idea of somebody. It's very much a thing. It's very much a thing. It's a genre that people have been into, and now that it's kind of become a thing, more people are coming out. We know people that are friends of ours are into it and stuff. So it's a thing. I can't imagine it. I like women to be so defined as women. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and another thing, and I know it's probably pretty boring for people, but like, also I happened to see that Emma Rose was going to be in an issue of Hustler. I guess, are they still publishing Hustler? I saw that she was going to be in Hustler. So which made me kind of laugh because, imagine the kind of porn consumer. Yeah. That they're the last people on the planet that are buying porn magazines. Right. It's probably some 75-year-old guy who buys Hustler at like the gas station. He brings it home. And he's like, let me just see. Ooh, this Emma Rose, she's a good-looking little filly. Well, do you suppose maybe they'll
airbrush it out or something?
Well,
No, I mean,
wait, this is Hustler, so they show everything in Hustler anyways,
oh
right?
God, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they
But I'm wondering if maybe they just leave the
no. I would
bikini bottoms on.
no, I would imagine that Hustler, you're not going to have a very popular transgender.
They're not going to Trojan horse a trans girl,
so to speak. Yeah. What are you saying? She's unstable? Am I nagging you?
Yes.
I'm just being Philly. But listen, I agree, but I also feel like, you know, the people at Hustler, I mean, they're having her on for lots of reasons, but one of the reasons is that she's so popular. So they're not going to have her on and be like, what do you mean she's a guy? Or
but it's, I guess it seems like a weird, misplaced promotional.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't see a Venn diagram where there would be much crossover, but fuck, I mean, maybe it is.
It's like the last frontier for just like you know, baby boomer porn is like a copy of like Squank or Gallery. My God,
I wonder though. Don't you kind of wonder, like statistically, how it would be impossible to you know, to put that on the census or something, but or to really ever find out. But you wonder like how many guys are into it. Like they don't mind of like they want a little bit of country and a little bit of rock and roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also I will say this, I have never once talked to if you're into trans women, you're not gay. Like it's a totally different, because gay guys that I know, they're not into trans women. And again,
it seems that,
and I know there are we're speaking in, you know, very broad terms here, no pun intended, but but what I mean is like, you're not going to find like a gay guy who goes to the gym and lives in Hell's Kitchen and blah, 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 who then goes home and like looks at trans girl porn. Like those guys like guys.
Yeah, they want a very masculine presenting,
or at least a guy that looks like a man that presents as a man. So there you go.
Yes.
But for some reason, I don't know. Again,
there's guys that they like a very, I mean, and these are hyper feminine presenting, mostly women,
yeah, very much,
but with a little surprise
or a huge surprise,
or with a
bigger surprise, the better.
Yeah, an 8-inch surprise.
Like finding like that
boat. 8-inch surprise is a pretty good. That could be a good title.
What is it?
8-inch surprise.
Yeah, 8-inch surprise is great. Make it 9 inches. Come on, why not?
Okay, why not?
Because 9 inches is always 8 inches in the dark. That's like when you. It's like those commercials around Christmas when you see like a Lexus tied up with a bow. You're like, oh my God, look at this huge cock on this broad.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. But there are enough, like I said, even one of my doormen, when we had Emma Rose over, he knew who she was. He was like, that's Emma Rose. She's hot. And that's what I'm all about.
Makes me feel out of touch.
I know. Trust me. I know. I feel like a real square watching these Russian teenagers, you know, pretend to be related to each other in dingy efficiency apartments. The motor parade is coming for Tuesday. You can't have petrol in me. It's always about petrol. Not petrol. Ivanka, you know I can't lend you my automobile because tomorrow is hockey match.
Right. Yeah, I gotta see. Next time you come across something like that, shoot me a link because I want to see.
I will. Like I said, I find for whatever reason
you seem to stumble across, and this is you saying this is POV because you like POV. Okay, POV. Yeah. So I guess maybe that's why I haven't stumbled across it.
Yeah, and also I feel like I think, as a matter of fact, when I saw that this morning, we know what I threw into my search. I started going like this: American stepsisters with American stepbrothers, accidental cream pie, porn, amateur, homemade, POV,
stars and stripes.
But then I fuck it up and I go,
these colors don't run.
Then I fuck up. I go caviar, shit, and then
stop the steal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just right.
Really. USA Bill of Rights.
Like what's happening?
Apple pie, pussy. Right. Yeah. Yeah, proud to be an American.
Really confused. Google.
I know my computer just starts to smoke. And I will say this too. Like, do you have a like an Armor program on your phone for on your laptop for like nonsense, like, you know, for malware and all that kind of thing? Do you have a security thing on your phone?
I don't.
I do. I have I have a VPN. It's called Armor. AR.
Oh, so you're masking your IP?
Yes and no. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Oh well, listen, I'm into some weird shit. You know, I'm either watching Russian stepsisters and or I'm buying fentanyl or
Right.
you know, or trying to get a hitman or a bootleg copy of The Wrath of Khan.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah, I'm not on the dark. I stay right on the.
no, you are on the dark web. Know what I'm
fuck yeah,
saying?
you got it.
No,
The melanated web.
But what's funny is like, so I'll do one of my, you know, my stream of consciousness, you know,
Yeah,
internet.
they're almost like beat poems.
Yeah. Daddy, hey, here's Jack Kerouac. One hand in my lap. Russian girl, boyfriend away, brother is full of petrol.
Boom,
Boom, boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom.
One way,
yeah,
one way road to Moscow. Anal cream pie.
Oh man,
yeah.
we should find a coffee house.
Yeah, exactly. I need petrol.
Put
for
on a turtleneck and let's go do that.
Automobile for petrol for coffee house. Coffee house. I need. Yeah, it's always like you see the POV, but there's like a sandwich, but the sandwich is made with like black bread and herring. I'm like, all right, these people are gonna Russian
black bread.
Yeah, it's black bread sandwich in the bedroom.
What even is black bread? That's a thing. Black
yeah, like
bread?
pumpernickel, like you know,
pumpernickel.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean like dark.
I thought you meant like black, like.
No, I mean like dark, like Slavic,
black,
like you know, like dark pumpernickel, you know, like
gulag. I like a pumper,
like gulag bread or something, right? You know, but anyway, so what was I? What was I saying? I was saying something about. I don't know. Porn.
We were talking about
the dark web. Okay,
yeah, dark web. Your VPN,
yes.
your VPN.
So I had this thing. It's got Netgear. Is the Netgear Armors the thing that I have? It's like $70 a year. And what's funny about it is, whenever I go on my thing, I will immediately, like when I check my phone, because I have an iPad. That's how I do that thing, right? But then on my phone, I get the notifications from Netgear, and it's like the amount of like malware and shit that is thrown at my phone.
Right.
I just picture like that, like in Braveheart when they had all their shields up and all the arrows go down into the shield. Like I'm over here, like, you know, Vladivostok teenager, ballet cream pie, anal petrol, and then all of a sudden I'll go on my phone is just blowing up like malware. It doesn't get through though. God bless him.
Right.
And it's like this, you know, we have detected a malware or this happening here or that happening here. It's funny too. I you know, I have a birthday coming up, and so I'm buying myself a present. I don't have any. I need a pair of boat shoes for the summer.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have a pair of boat shoes. I only have loafers right now, and you know, it's not going to work. Can't wear loafers everywhere. Like no, like
certainly not.
No, like some insurance salesman. So I found these boat shoes, and I found these Gucci boat shoes that I like. And there's a website called Kicks Crew, KICKSCREW. And I guess it's one of these like sneakerhead websites or something.
Like a StockX or something.
Something exactly like that. Right. So I was on there.
You're a real hype beast.
Well, it was funny because these Gucci loafers, if you buy them at Gucci, they're for what they are, they're really expensive because they're canvas. They're not even leather. And they're like $1,000. So I'm not spending $1,000 for a pair of shoes that are fucking canvas. I just feel like an asshole. But I'll spend $400 for those, you know what I mean? Because I'll own them for 5 years, and by the time I divide amount of months into $500, and okay, that's fine. So I'll do that.
How can you afford not to? Really?
I mean, it's like they're giving them away. You'd be a fool not to spend $500 on these boat shoes. So, but I was on this Kicks Cruise website, and I saw, because I Googled like these shoes to see if I can get them, you know, less expensive. And I saw the same pair of shoes, and they came up there $350. And I was like, oh, that's almost a little too cheap. But I bought them. I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. So I bought them, and then I got a message, order confirmed, blah, blah, blah. We'll let you know in 5 to 7 days. Because, you know, now it's like a big, now I'm not just, you buy them from Gucci, we get them tomorrow, but they're $1,000. So I'm like, now I'm just going to play the waiting game. So I'm like, I decide, I'm like, let me Google this company. So I Google the company, and the first thing that comes up is like, these people are a scam. Like, don't believe them, and blah blah blah, and something else. But then somebody else is like, look, they have the right product. It's always authentic, but you have to wait a long time. And
that's
it was just, a lot of fucking. And then this morning I got up, and before I got into a fight with that tiny Puerto Rican about his mound of piss dirt, I was on a line, and I got an email from PayPal, and it goes, you've been refunded like $440 because they gave
order canceled.
They canceled the order.
Really?
Which I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Because and then I tried to buy. So I'm glad I got my money back.
The most honest, shady company I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I know. They're like, I know, because I think the whole company is like, they're like on a boat off the coast of like Manila in the Philippines or something, But what was funny was then I was like, So then I found the same shoes on eBay, and they were $575. But then you can do that thing where you can bid on them. So I bid. I'm like, let me see if I can get these for $425, and I put $425 in, and I didn't get them. So no birthday for me.
Gubbit.
This is the second worst birthday, other than when I was in second grade and nobody came to McDonald's.
The McDonald's birthday party.
Poor little white boy. He ain't got no friends.
Yeah. He ain't got no friends.
Let him work the fryer. No, he's gonna burn himself. Maybe he retarded because he got no friends.
Be crazy if you just never left that. Like you just got a job there.
Oh, like
you never left that McDonald's.
Yeah, like I became
McDonald's,
like the boy in the bubble. I just never left the McDonald's.
Well, like because the people were there for you and you felt indebted to them.
It could be like the Truman Show, but only in the McDonald's. Right. Yeah, I know, that was so terrible. What's funny? Because I was thinking, because I have that cousin of mine in Texas, Kevin, and I was thinking, like, of all the people in my life that have been like nice to me, and I'm kind of jumping tracks here a little bit, but like the people that have been nice to me have been like my wife's family and like my friends. The people that I'm related to have been awful.
Sometimes that's how it is.
Is that wild? Because I get it kind of, I get it weird. I get it like in my head because people always go like, oh, family's so important. And I'm like, really? Is it?
Not if you're get a bad one.
Yeah. But then people are like, the family's the most important thing, family. And then I feel like an asshole because I
think people that say that have like really nice families.
Or maybe they live in a part of the world where they just don't have like a choice to make friends or something. Or I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
But I was just thinking about the other day because I was like, because I had an opportunity to sort of do something with somebody in my family. And I was like, you know what? It's not gonna go well.
Right.
And I've always been nice. I feel like I've always been nice to these people. I've always like been nice. And I've always, anyway, whatever. One more thing I want to talk about and let's say hello to everybody is, have you happened to watch the Bon Jovi documentary?
No.
It's on Netflix. It's on Amazon, I think. No, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Hulu.
Who knew? Hulu. And it's funny because am I a fan of Bon Jovi? I guess, like, sure. I mean, who doesn't love Slippery When Wet? But I have to say, and again, I haven't really gotten through it necessarily yet, but when you watch a documentary and it is produced by the person that the documentary is about,
a real love letter to John.
It's like the Arnold Schwarzenegger one or the Sylvester Stallone one. Like there's no, like the Schwarzenegger one, he's like, I came to the country to make my dreams come true. And as you can see, I did. And it's like, and it shows him like, like riding his own tank through like the mountains of California. And then when
it's a commercial for
and I'm just
for them.
Yeah. I'm like,
made by their publicists.
Yeah. I'm like, what is the point of this? I'm just watching an infomercial about how great you are and how the decisions you made. Like, for example, like I know Stallone, same thing with Stallone. He's like, I lived in my car and I wrote Rocky and everyone loved Rocky. So then all of a sudden I was the famous guy in the world, Rocky. Like, and then you're like, all right, I guess, but I don't want to. I want to hear about like
do up around the garbage can. I'm Rocky.
But the second one, the guy, there was like a director, looked like a kind of a gay guy, and I made fun of him in the movie. But that was a different time, I can't call the guy a fag now because But like the thing about like Stallone's life, okay, like Stallone was married to Brigitte Nielsen. Like I want to hear about that fucking marriage. Like I want to hear, like he has a son that died of drug abuse, which okay, that's, and they in that documentary they touch on it for a minute. He's like, this is, I think at one point they like, I don't know, they dedicate at the end they dedicate it. Sure. Dedicate to my son. He wasn't as lucky as me at the end. It's horrible, but you know what I mean? Like I'd love to see, I always want to see a documentary. It's kind of like when you read a book, like you never want to read an autobiography. Do you know what I'm saying? Because an autobiography is written by the person whose life they are telling you about. Like, I'll give you a great example. I bought the autobiography of Bob Odenkirk, and I'll tell you, he's an unpleasant guy. His name should be Odin Jerk.
Really?
I don't know. I've heard things.
Or did you just come up with that joke and so you had to?
I don't know why. What do you mean by that? No. Okay. I have number one. I've heard I don't like David Cross for a couple of reasons.
Okay. He's very snarky.
I've met him a couple of times, and he actually, a friend of mine owned a bar, and David Cross came in with a bunch of people, and then he left his tab. He left like an $800 tab.
Really?
Yeah, and he never paid it. So David Cross
was it on the Lower East Side? I used to see him around.
He was in Williamsburg.
Okay.
Yes, it was actually at Nighthawk, if you can remember that place.
The cinema?
The cinema.
Okay.
Where the girl was there that wanted me to watch her pee, and I didn't watch her pee. You know that story, right?
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that was at Nighthawk.
It was at Nighthawk, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, come here.
What, there's, I guess I've only gone there to watch movies, but I didn't know there was
first
a bar
floor,
as well.
you make a right. For those of you who are listening, in New York City, for those of you who are listening, it's stupid. There's a place called Nighthawk, and it's a place where you can watch a movie, and you can also buy wildly expensive, mediocre food and have drinks. And but it is a fun thing because it's kind of like for cinemaphiles.
It's fun. And you can see movies that are like I saw the Tammy Faye Baker movie there.
Right.
I don't know if it was playing.
Or they'll do
places.
Right. Or that's where I met
Abel movies.
That's where I met Abel Ferrara. The guy who directed King of New York and Bad Lieutenant and everything. And then, but yeah, it's like one of these things where you go in and they may have like a cool movie from the 80s and they'll have like the director there. They'll do a Q&A and things like that. But on the first floor, there's a bar, and it's a nice big bar. And, you go there before the movie. There's a bar upstairs, but it's smaller. It's kind of like a lobby bar. But that's where I was the one day waiting for my friend John to show up, and the girl was sitting at the bar reading a book, and then she was like, "Can you watch my stuff?" I was like, "Sure." And she went in the bathroom and she went, "Psst, psst." I said, "What? Because you want to watch me pee?" I was like, "Yes, but I can't. I do want to watch you pee, but I can't because I can't." She's like,
"I'm not sure I'd even want to."
Sure, you do.
Do I?
Yeah. Why not? I don't know. I mean,
I guess if I'm single and it leads to something,
God, put your hand underneath it, feel all that hot, briny liquid.
Yeah, still nothing about this.
I would totally gross her out. I would make a little hand and cup it and start to drink it. Yeah, I know. She's like, "You know what? You're too much." I'm like, "You have a brownie for daddy?" I had like a brownie too.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I'm a real prude.
Yeah. "You got a hot turd for this fag?" She's like, "Jesus Christ."
You creep her out,
the
lonely girl reading the book.
Yeah, I just start jerking off in the bathroom.
She's like, "Whoa,
yeah, put your piss flaps on my face. I wish you had a big cock I could suck."
Saying all the things you wish could happen.
Exactly.
She's like, "This guy's." She's like, "I am lonely, but this guy's fucking weird."
I pull a box cutter out to start carving in my arm. "What's your name? What's your name? Let me carve it in my arm."
I like the idea of you freaking out the chick with the book.
Yeah, you think you're a weirdo.
Yeah, yes.
I just lock
like it's a contest.
Yeah, I lock the door to the bathroom. Yes. I pull a sock puppet out of my back pocket. Ooh, now Mr. Footy's gonna watch me get some raping.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but so at the Nighthawk place, my friend was running the place, and what's his name? David Cross came in there, and like he's some big fucking, and he always wears like cargo shorts with like big stupid boots. Although I will say that Patton Oswalt, right? This is kind of a funny anecdote that I heard. Is it really an anecdote if it didn't happen to me? But so Patton Oswalt, the actor, he was the voice of Ratatouille. He was also, was he in the King of Queens, right?
King of Queens. He was like a kind of regular.
Anyway, LA guy, funny guy, but apparently Patton Oswalt said something which I think is probably the snarkiest thing I've ever heard. He said that David Cross gets the scripts that he throws in the trash. Like, ooh,
wow! I like that. There's like trash talk amongst
like alternative comics.
Like beta.
Well, because look,
sort of.
Because if you look at like David Cross, he was in like Alvin and the Chipmunks and that kind of shit. Which fine.
I give David Cross my straps.
Yeah, exactly. I was in The Fan, a football movie about a loner who got beaten up by his favorite football player, and he's in Hocus Pocus 3, where Bette Midler wasn't even in it. Yeah,
that's crazy that I would think because I always think that those guys are more self-aware than that, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're just like anybody.
I don't know. Everybody's a cunt, right? I mean,
Yeah,
kind of. It's
kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with you. And then that, like, it's like Brian Posehn's like shitty to somebody else. Like everyone's just kind of like shitty to each other. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I guess. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. But I don't know why we even brought up Nighthawk. I'm all over the map today. But let's say hi to some people.
Yeah, let's say hi to the folks.
Oh, and by the way, really quickly, just to do a little housekeeping, got a couple more headshot requests. So if you're not on the Patreon, it's my birthday next week. By the way, next Friday, big birthday show. I have no idea what that means, but big birthday show. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll smoke crystal meth with September Rain.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
I can't get Lainey to return our phone calls. I think
we may have fallen out of favor. If you say it's your birthday.
I don't want. I mean, I'm going to ask for
attention.
I'm not going to ask 4 times. I mean, she'll get back to us.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. Lainey is our publicist who would get us the adult people, and I'm sure that everything's fine with her, and she's great and everything. But I've reached out to her once or twice, maybe 3 times, and she hasn't brought and she used to be very on top of it.
Twice,
3 times,
3 times
Elaine. Oh fuck
my
me!
Gosh,
you're good. Get over here.
Sometimes we stumble into.
I'd watch you.
Yeah, give me a deep.
I'd watch you pee right down my throat. There we go.
Not into the piss stuff.
No, whatever.
You'll take it, but it's not your first choice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just.
If you stumble into it like at a Nighthawk,
I would just it's not I'm not a golden shower aficionado, but and that girl was super. If I remember correctly, she was super cute. This is when I could see much better. This was a long time ago. She was very cute and she was young, and she was like, the fact that anybody would like be attracted to me enough for me to want me to watch them pee, and like watch her. The whole scenario had a lot of it hit a lot of beats, But I was a good boy. I was like, nope, I'm good. She was like, all right, you fucking queerbait.
Go home and tell your wife what you didn't do.
No,
she told you where the gummy bears were hidden.
Yeah, you should give me some pussy because I didn't watch that woman pee.
I didn't watch the woman.
I know it's on my birthday.
Oh, you're just making shit up.
Yeah, exactly. She wanted me to watch her pee and then change her oil in her car.
Fake water sports that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi to Smokey the Spurg.
Hey, Smokey.
Says I'm here for it.
Hi, buddy.
Says I'm here for it again. I'm not sure what that.
I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly what.
Put it on the glass.
Our boy Ted says, boys.
Hey, Teddy.
Hi to our girl Kay. Hi to Dr. Spergenberg.
Hello, doctor. The good doctor.
Oh, he said, Brian, you should go up at the White House. Because we're talking about the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Oh, yeah. Is that where they go up?
Yeah, that's where you go up.
Fucking
go up at the White House.
Yeah, I could open up for that fucking guy whose name I can't remember, who I don't like.
Yeah.
Fucking the guy on
Sean
Gillis, Dobie Gillis.
Shane
Gillis.
Shane Dobie Gillis.
Yeah.
Who? Josh Jack.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh Jack. Michaela says, will this be up later? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that, Michaela, but yes, because a lot of times when people do their live streams, they take them down and then they put them up, but this is actually stays up. We do a separate thing over on Patreon, but get on there. It's patreon.com/Brian McCarthy.
Oh, that was good.
If you want,
that was good.
Call now.
Michaela, it never goes anywhere. It just goes up and it's there.
No, it's here, but I think Michaela is maybe new to the the program, so welcome.
And if you're on Patreon, please get on the Patreon and send us your email address. Well, I'm assuming the name Michaela, but anyway, if you're on Patreon, send us your email or your mailing address. And we'll send you a headshot. Anyway, whatever, or not. But we're happy to have you.
Joe, hi to Joe DeLuca.
Hey, Joe DeLuca.
He says, "May the 4th be with you."
Tomorrow, big day.
Yeah, well, that's why we're on the Death Star.
That's right.
Because it May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Hi to Tanktastic.
Hey, Tanktastic.
Tanktastic always points out that I'm having a better time here than I was on MLC. Always good to see you smile. He's always taking a jab. A
little bit of jab. Well,
yeah, he's always taking a jab at MLC and saying that I don't know what that means, but
I don't know.
Tank's got some kind of a bone to pick.
By the way, shout out Neil Brendan's new special. It's really funny.
I didn't see it. Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
I was thrown off by the name Crazy Good.
I'm
not watching something called Crazy Good.
No. Although I did watch the who's the guy?
He was very arrogant.
The Nate Bargatze. That was really funny. I watched
He's
that.
a funny guy. I listened to his podcast.
Oh, I didn't know he had one. That's a big surprise.
Your boy Nick Novicki's on there.
Oh, is he really?
He like tours with Nate, and
I knew
he's
that
known
part.
as Mick on that. That's like his, because people I guess thought his name was Mick. So
Well, good for
so
Nick.
if you call him Mick, he'll know you're a Nateland fan.
But don't but I have his phone number. So like we're like friends. So should
Yeah.
I don't want to call it. It's kind of like it's like if
but he would be like, oh shit, I didn't know that you
yeah, but then I look like a fan.
But you actually don't,
I want to be like a friend. I think
Okay.
friend is better than fan. That's like if you know Robert Downey Jr. and you call him Iron Man.
Yeah, I think it's funny to call him Iron Man. What I'm saying is very meta, but also if you don't listen to the show, then why would you?
No, I listen to YMH, not all the time, but I listen to YMH. Not when Ian Finance is on it, that fucker. Anyway, whatever.
I could never get into the your mom's house thing.
I
didn't try very hard.
I like it because they play a lot of clips that I think the clips are funny. Like they find
keeps you abreast of current events.
They find like dumb shit online, and they find like things that I find are funny. And that's enough. But I don't like the Bert Kreischer. It gets very like.
Yeah, I feel like there's it would be a landmine field for me of like just people that I would never want to watch on a podcast. I would have to.
It's just at a certain point,
never
at a certain point, it feels like it's collapsing in on itself. It's like Bert Kreischer and Joe Rogan,
empire, though, like your mom's house thing.
I know, it's crazy.
Great production quality, I will say.
It is good stuff.
Let's see, OVO.
OVO.
He's saying, Brian, when you coming back to Albuquerque? I feel like every week he asks, when you coming back to Albuquerque? We got to go back to TD's. They're touching dicks now.
Yeah, it's good. That's the strip club that
Odyssey,
he and
I don't know.
It's a strip club he and I went to.
Yeah, I guess they're touching dicks.
All right,
they're diversified. Maybe.
Well, I tell you, next time we come back, let's hit a gay bathhouse. Let's really cover all the bases.
Sure. Joe says September rain because no November rain was taken.
Yeah, isn't that a
Or is he talking? Is he trying to say no nut November?
No, that's it. Isn't that a fucking Guns N' Roses song?
Yeah, November rain.
Yeah. Right. When he beat up Stephanie Seymour.
Let's see. Hi to Colt C.
Hi, Colt C.
Hi to Julian. Oh, Julian says he was listening at work. Please keep the piazza talk that they use that as a slang for gays. Piazza. Talk to a minimum, can't afford another write-up. And then shortly after he said, too much, boys. Sorry.
So we'll put on listen. It's not,
maybe he can't wear headphones.
We can't censor the show because you don't have headphones on.
Kidding.
Okay, but I want you to enjoy the show. So get a pair of headphones or AirPods. Right. Can I tell you something? My daughter has lost 2 pairs of Apple AirPods.
Yikes!
And I finally was like, "Listen, I love you."
I think no college, probably. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to take it out. What if you did?
Yeah.
What if it was like hotel incidentals? Where you just
she comes downstairs. I have one of those green hats on, like the accountant hat, like
yes,
no, but you know what I did? I bought her a pair of AirPod, like knockoff AirPods on Amazon for $30, and they're fucking fine. They're
honestly,
great.
That's what I got, like a $50 pair of like the whatever, probably like the Belkin or whatever the fucking knockoff is,
right?
Because I was afraid I would lose them. And I've had them.
Yeah.
I got them at the beginning of the winter. So I think I've like actually earned the real ones. Now I think I'm going to get the real ones because I just figured I would lose them immediately.
I have the real ones, and actually hers, the weird knockoff, Chinese ones, or they're all Chinese, but the ones that she has, they're actually better than mine in that hers are USB-C. You know what I mean?
So it's like mine are USB-C.
Yeah, I have the ones from one generation before. So I have the AirPod Pros, but I have the Lightning port
to charge them.
Yeah, and it's like my last Lightning thing that I have on is.
Well, is the new iPhone USB-C?
Yes, it is.
Oh, it is.
Yep, everything's USB-C.
It still got Lightning. I'm like 2 behind though.
Well. Anyway, it would be nice if I got the new AirPods if I got them just because they'd have the USB-C. Ever tell you once when I was walking through Midtown Manhattan, which for those of you who don't know is a busy part of town, and I fucking
for those of you don't know what Times Square is.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never heard of.
You familiar with Broadway and 51st Street?
City in the world.
That's right, right, man. The Bronx is up and Brooklyn's down. No, but I happen to be walking through a very busy part of town, and I lost an AirPod.
Yikes.
And I fucking found it like 3 hours later on the street using that Find My AirPod thing.
Holy shit! I know there was a Find My AirPod.
Well, there's a Find My. Oh yeah, there's a Find
Holy
My
shit.
improv thing. Yeah, I know. It was like on the street, like it was like by a subway entrance. I was like, oh, that's fucking random.
Cool.
Anyway, I know. It's
And
very
you got
cool.
it back. You recovered
Got
your
it back.
AirPod.
Yep, and it was
That's
covered.
exciting.
It was covered in cum and piss, but it was fine.
But it still worked.
I put it in the top rack of the dishwasher, and it's
I
fine.
was still able to Bluetooth it.
Uh-huh.
I hate my only thing with them is it's like I always forget to, if I use my laptop, like a coffee shop, I'll Bluetooth my earbuds and then it's kind of a whole production to get them back on my phone. Which I hate that.
No, I have the same problem. I have the same problem when I try to talk to Siri, and I have my computer and my iPod and my my iPad and my phone. It doesn't know which one to like. It doesn't know.
I'm not sure if I spend more time pairing my earpods with devices or untangling the cord for that. I bet it's probably about the same.
Tell you, this is hey, this is your brave new world.
And I've got like radiation going through my brain
coursing
now
through your brain
because of these
chemtrails.
Right. Hi to Kafer. Hi to Chris Mack.
Hi Kafer. Hi Chris Mack.
Hi to our boy Ted.
Hi Ted.
Our guy Nick says, did you guys hear the new Pearl Jam album? Is there really a new Pearl Jam?
There is.
Or is that a joke?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I actually heard them interviewed on Howard. Most of it.
Check that out.
It sounds like a Pearl Jam album to me.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I'm not a huge Pearl Jam. I will say this: you want to get gay for a minute? The new Pet Shop Boys has some bangers on it.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, very good. If you like 70-year-old gay men making electronic music, which I do, yeah, it's good. Shout out to Vince who found that for me.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I did hear some of it. I'm not a huge Pet Shop. I mean, I'm the mess today. I'm not a huge. I'm trying to say Pantera.
Yeah.
I love Portishead.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
It is a deep cut.
Portishead.
What do you work at SeaWorld? Portishead or something?
Yeah.
Fucking
fuck.
Shamu.
Yeah.
Put your finger in my blowhole.
Hi, Mud Sharks Unite.
Hey, Mud Shark.
Hi to our boy Chris Mack. Said there's a new Motley Crue song too. Laugh my ass off. It sucks.
Oh yeah, of course it does.
That's his 2-word review.
It
sucks.
I saw Tommy Lee a couple times at the farmers market when I lived in LA, and he didn't have a shirt on. I thought that was kind of funny. He's like walking around without a shirt on. I saw Dave Navarro with no shirt on in LA on Sunset Boulevard. Jesus. Dave Navarro was like 5'4". He's a little fella.
Really?
Maybe not that short,
little guy.
but he's small.
How fucking man. I guess I wouldn't be a very good celebrity anyways, because I don't want to be like bothered by people. But being a fucking,
you're looking for it at that point.
Yeah, it's like it's like you're a bottomless pit of validation to
covered
be
in tattoos,
walking down. What did you say, Hollywood Boulevard?
Sunset. Yeah.
Sunset. It's like
there's an area where
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Trust me.
It's like the Statue of Liberty hanging out at the Quicksilver store in Midtown.
Yeah. It would be like Harrison Ford putting on his Han Solo outfit and walking around the fucking mall
with a Sharpie. Yeah. Anybody want?
We're gonna need a bigger boat. You're like, that's not the right movie.
Jeez, Louise.
I'm Indiana Jones today or something.
Something.
Indiana Chip. We're the last people doing Chip, I think. Oh Jim,
man.
Why'd you stop doing Chip? Anyway, whatever.
Okay. Good question.
Are we all done, everybody? We're all done. Are we done?
We're behind the beaded curtain.
Everybody, thank you very much. We're going to go over to Patreon. We are almost at our watch hours. Could you please go on the YouTube channel?
Dangerously close, and then we'll get those super chats going.
That's right. Click on the playlist, and it'll just play. It won't cost you any money or anything. It just kind of goes and goes and goes, and then it helps us out. So thank you, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Brian M. Show on all the social media nonsense. And next week, big birthday show.
I don't know
what that means, but we'll figure out. We'll have something fun for you. Okay. Bye. Love you. Goodbye.